My guest tonight is a comedian who's been seen in Jordan Peele's psychological thriller Get Out, as well as starred in his own Fox sitcom. Now you can see him starring in the much-talked-about Netflix movie. Everyone's discussing this movie, Bad Trip. Take a look.
I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way.
Right here.
My heart is off. Won't you stand up and
Oh, it's starting.
What happened? What happened?
I'm stuck. I'm sinking. Shit. Wait a minute. Go get some butter. Butter me out the thing. Ah! Shit.
Oh my God.
Please welcome Lil Rel Howery.
That's good. First of all, Andy looks disgusted.
And Andy.
I couldn't see what the clip was.
Oh my God.
The monitor's
Okay.
not pointed towards you guys.
It's first of all, I have so many questions, which is clearly those women are not in on it, which is great. They don't know what's happening. I have to give it to them. That first woman, she opens the porta potty and then she's actively trying to help you, never questioning how is it you're sinking well below the floor level of a porta potty. I mean, that moment in the movie reaffirms my faith in humanity. Like, these women are just, like, being so nice.
Well, this is the thing about it, what y'all don't realize is the way it's edited, it just looks like I'll run into the porta potty from the car.
Yeah.
Those are actually prank dates.
Yes.
So Bud Malone was on dates with these women.
Yeah.
He was all dates.
No, but even given that, yes, you're on dates with these women and you don't see that, but what happens is then you go to use the porta potty. Now, still, even if you're on a date, my wife wouldn't open the porta potty, and if I was in that situation, she wouldn't try and pull me out. That was impressive. I'm still, yes, you're on a date and you have some relationship with them, but I think that shows a lot of class on their part and bravery.
I think they were really classy for that. And also, too, like, I was really disgusted in there. Like, I remember, like, when they yelled cut and we were done with the prank, and everybody like, oh, those throw-up sounds you was doing was great acting. I'm like, those wasn't sounds. I was really, it felt so disgusting. I don't care how much they clean that porta potty.
Yeah.
It's still a porta potty.
Yes, it has probably previously been used. And they're like, no, we cleaned it. It hasn't been used in 20 minutes. You're good to go in there.
Even if they tell you it's a brand new one straight out of the factory, that's the prop guy telling you who might have just been like, yeah, just tell him that.
Yeah.
Just tell him that.
I mean, that's the other thing is you were asked to do a lot. I'm told that you almost quit after the first scene.
It's not an almost. The first prank, first scene we shot, I quit.
Okay.
I walked off set. I still had, because that's when we had the you know.
Let's describe what happened for anyone who hasn't seen the film yet. So stupid and so wrong. Why don't you set it up? Why don't you tell us?
Well, I don't even know how we can say it on here, but our male.
It's the penis.
The penis was attached through a Chinese finger trap, me and Eric's penis.
Yes, okay, here we go. What you did is you and Eric Andre, you pretended that you were guys who somehow got your penises caught in a, what's known as a Chinese finger trap, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you ask strangers for help, and here you guys are, and this guy on the golf course. Now, those ladies that we saw earlier reaffirm my faith in humanity. No one here wanted to help you, and people were mad.
People were so, like, that's the one prank that made everybody so mad. Like, we was walking down the street, because we did, a couple of times we were just literally just walking down the street with our penis strapped. These two homeless dudes walked past like, yeah, they better not say nothing to me. But they penis is attached. Say something to me. Nasty mother. There's children on the street. It's disgusting. How y'all do that? Because I know they better not say nothing to me. Like, what?
So, okay. So you shoot that scene, they yell cut, and you said, I quit. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Well, it was when the first one we went into a barber shop, and they led us into the wrong barber shop. Our security wasn't in there, wasn't any cameras in there. I don't know what this brother was talking about. It felt like this man was having a conversation with somebody. Like, let somebody walk in here with their penises attached and see what I do. Because he was so angry.
Yeah.
We walked in there very humble, like, excuse me, sir. He's like, hey, man, what y'all doing, man? He started looking for a gun. He couldn't find it. That's what he told us.
Okay.
And then he grabbed a knife, chased us out the shop like this with rage on his face. I break out the trap. You know what I'm saying? I fall under a car. We got the Wesley Snipes security guard. We had some crazy, whatever he did, underarm him. And, man, I quit. I literally kept my costume on and walked to the hotel. So I still had the trap on, which was even more weird.
That's great. So you said I quit, then you started walking back to your hotel with your penis stuck in a finger trap, headed back to the hotel.
Yeah. I was. It was even crazy. I remember walking in. It was like everybody in the lobby was like, "Oh my God, that's his thing out, and it's out of finger trap." So we call the police. But I did, and I called Tiffany. And to vent
Tiffany
to
Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. I was like, man, Eric almost got me killed. I called my agents and everybody. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this movie. I am an actor. I've never called myself an actor before. I'm like, no, I'm an actor, man. I'm not Johnny Knoxville. This is insane to me.
Right.
And I called Tiffany, and Tiffany really kind of convinced me not to quit. But then she thought it was really funny, and that irritated me too. So I'm like, I'll talk to you later. And then she called Eric and said, Eric, yo, did you almost get Lil Rel killed? And he was like, oh yeah, I feel so bad. She's like, please, I need to be in this movie. I love that type of stuff. And that's actually how she got in the movie.
That's great. So you called Tiffany Haddish for compassion as a friend.
Yes, that's my friend.
To say, I want to quit this movie. She thought it was so funny that she said, I want in on this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't go the way you wanted it to.
Oh, I was so mad. Like, you ever because she was laughing, I was dead serious, and she just cracking up. Like, you know something? How about I get off this phone with you? You know, because I was still angry, but I wanted somebody to be like, he was wrong for that. But she didn't say he was wrong. She was excited about it. She's like, this is going to be great. I'm like, all right.
There's tons of funny stuff in the film. There's some stuff that got cut because it didn't quite go the way you wanted it to. There's a hitchhiking scene. You and Eric are driving around in this car. Is that right? Is this correct? I feel like this is a trial. That's what it feels like right
it does. I'm like,
sir, is this correct? You were riding around in this
Crown Vic.
What's that?
It's a Crown Vic.
Crown Victoria.
Yeah.
And it's pink, and it says "bad bitch" on the back. And sir, tell us what you and Mr. Andre were doing in this car.
The prank was to pick up a hitchhiker, and Chris Rock played the police officer that will pull us over and question everything. But
now, here's the problem. Chris Rock is one of the most famous comedians in the world. So the person who was not in on it immediately recognized Chris Rock?
right away. I mean, once again, Chris Rock didn't change his voice. He didn't want to put a mustache on or do nothing. He just Chris Rocked it. Like, it's like, okay. Like, I don't know how people not gonna know it's not Chris Rock, but he did. How you doing? He did the voice. I'm like, bro, they know it's you, fam. Like,
Yeah, and you're right, that's what Chris Rock does in all his movies, too. He's Chris Rocking it, you know? If Chris Rock is in Hamlet, he's not doing Hamlet. He's doing Chris Rock, you know? So the person right away was like, you're Chris Rock, and the whole thing is done.
But what made it funny though, not outside the prank, is that people did know it was Chris Rock, and they were just entertained by watching Chris Rock do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Chris Rock is shooting up the police car. Chris Rock is beating up Eric, and there's people like, man, Chris Rock is crazy.
Yeah.
It just looked like we was a bunch of lunatics, and Chris Rock is crazy.
You know, I wanted to ask you about something that everyone's been thinking about these days, which is we are more than a year into this pandemic. Looks like we're coming out the other side, knock wood, and everything's going to be, I think, much better. But everybody in our business who performs for a living in front of an audience, we've all been thinking, when can we get back to performing again, and what's it going to be like when we get in front of an audience? You very recently figured out a way to go on stage. Where was this? Was this in Tennessee?
It was in Nashville, yeah.
It was in Nashville.
Yep.
And you recorded a stand-up set in front of an audience. And this was just how long ago? Like a couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. And first of all, that had to be very strange after not being in front of an audience for over a year to suddenly be back. Was that scary? Were you afraid?
Well, I wasn't nervous about that until right before my intro, but because I was like, dude, why would you record a comedy album you ain't been up in a year and a half? Are you crazy? But at the same time, I've done sets like, you know, say for instance, I was shooting a movie for a while, and I go back on the road. those first sets would be so like my favorite sets because I'm just going. I'm just whatever's on my mind. It's usually very raw and this is why I think honestly it's probably my best work actually that I've ever recorded. But it was a little nervous just being in front of people.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like I wore a suit. I've never purposely wore a suit on stage before in my whole career on purpose. And to actually like, so I'm gonna throw a suit on, and the audience energy it felt like they were just so happy to be entertained again. I think comedy's gonna be great for us coming back. Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for, and I think could be really nice is I keep thinking there could be a really nice moment coming in comedy, music, theater, across the board, anything where there's an audience, because I think people are so hungry for it that I imagine you coming out and doing a show, you always get laughs, but then there's going to be this added energy of, oh my God, we get to be in an audience again, and that's got to be nice to feel that love,
Well,
you know?
that love, and then and I said this on stage too. I'm like, yo, y'all actually are my friends at this point, because I haven't talked to nobody for real in person about any of this stuff I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's like, y'all basically are my friends now. And that's what it felt like. It felt like an audience full of people, because people just haven't been around each other. And comedy is going to be because I think now people, if they're going to pay to do anything or leave the house, they're like, no, I better be entertained. Like, you're not going to just be going to a club just to be standing around looking at people. You're going to like want to go somewhere where you're actually entertained. And I think comedy, because we actually, we make a lot of these subjects comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think I'm telling you, the audience was so good. And I just did an hour and a half of just like, I felt like I blacked out on stage and just went there. And then when I listened to it again recently, because I'm doing all the editing and stuff now, it's like, yo, this is probably my best work, but it's really honest.
When can we hear that comedy album?
I think I'm gonna probably release it after either in between Free Guy, which comes out August 13th, and another film I'm in, but I guess I can't tell nobody.
Yeah, let me ask you about this other film you're not allowed to talk about. 'Cause that's my job. Space Jam, the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not allowed to say anything about this.
Nope.
But I know that you're somehow involved. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. People are very excited. Sir, don't make me take my exhibits out again. Sir, was this not you in the car? I have a photograph of you.
Are you, in fact, a bad bitch?
Damn right I am. No.
So you can't, that must be frustrating. I'm just going to say, you don't have to say anything. I think it'd be very frustrating. Let's say you were in the Space Jam sequel. I'm not saying you are, but let's say you were, and people are so excited about that, and you're not allowed to tell people about it? I'd be going crazy.
I mean, if by chance I'm in that particular film, it is weird to not be able to be like, seeing the trailer do well and all this stuff, and you can't be like, I'm a part of that. But allegedly, if I was a part of it.
If you were a part of it.
Yeah.
If you
I
were
would be
part of
very
it.
frustrated.
I guess there's no way we'll ever know if you're part of this Space Jam.
Like it's not coming out July 16th.
Bad Trip is now streaming on Netflix, and Lil Rel may or may not be in the upcoming Space Jam sequel. We'll never, ever know. I loved always talking to you, and then the fact that you came in here in person made it so much fun.
This was great, man. It's just like, seeing Andy and Mr. Drummond and
Mr. Drummond normally doesn't like to show, but he heard you were here, and all four of Kevin Hart's decided to show up, which is very rare. You got a really good packed house here tonight.
I mean, Mr. Drummond being here is just, it's the most weirdest, surreal thing to ever look at. Like, wow, Mr.
That
Drummond
came from, I believe, that's left over from the tour, and so we used that and then just stuck it in the backstage at our theater. And then when we needed cardboard cutouts, someone grabbed it and said, well, we've got four Kevin Hart's, and we've got Mr. Drummond, so let's jam him in there with all the real fans.
I mean, that outfit still works today.
Yes.
Mr. Drummond has on.
God bless him.
God bless him.
God bless him. He's no longer with us,
Yeah, I know.
He's moved on.
Yeah.
But he's wearing that outfit somewhere right now.
Mr. Drummond.
Mr. Drummond. All right. Hey, thank you. So
Why did we get so sad? Like it just
You
happened.
started it.
No.
You said, "Oh, where's Mr. Drummond?" And I follow you. You're the master. I follow you. Don't blame this on
I
me.
feel like he has to come up with a picture now. It's like,
Oh yeah, it should all go to black.
Right.
And then instead of his real name, Conrad Bain, it should say Mr. Drummond, 1926 to 2016.